On Tuesday, federal prosecutors announced that an Iranian-American journalist living in Brooklyn was the target of an international kidnapping plot orchestrated by Iran's intelligence network. The alleged plot included attempts to lure Masih Alinejad, an American citizen, to a third country to capture her and bring her to Iran in retaliation for her outspoken criticism of the Iranian regime. The four defendants named in the indictment are believed to remain at large in Iran. And joining us now is journalist, author, and activist Masih Alinejad. First of all, just thank you so much for being here. So glad that you are safe. Give us a sense of the timeline here, when you heard about this plot and how you knew that this time it was really serious.
It was 8 months ago, and the FBI came to my house, and they actually announced that I'm under surveillance, and they were saying that the intelligence service hired some private investigator in New York taking photos of your private life. They showed me the photos. There was photos of my husband, my stepchildren, my garden, like me watering my flowers. And it was like shocking, because I left my beloved homeland to be safe here. And I was like, wow, so now the officials are that close to me. Mm-hmm. So the FBI actually moved me to different safe houses.
And so you learned about the details last night about the speedboats, right, to take you to Venezuela and then to Iran. But you've been under this FBI surveillance, as you said, for quite some time. Just kind of explain what the last few months of your life has been like. I saw a post where you had the police right outside the front door.
It was not easy, because the goal of the government actually to ruin everything, to actually take my focus away from my work, from my job, because I'm a journalist, I'm an activist, and I'm giving voice to millions of Iranian voiceless people. So I was like, you know what I'm going to do? What I'm going to do? The FBI was asking me to go live on Safe House on Instagram, because they were trying to find out whether the intelligence service is going to find out my new location. And they did. And I was like, couldn't believe it. But at the same time, I don't know why, but something just helped me to be more determined, to be more loud. So when I was in the safe house, I started actually to get in touch with the mothers of those people who got killed in Iran protests. And now every week I'm giving them a voice and talking about every single person. Last week there was a mother whose son was killed in Iran protests, just broke her silence. I got my power back, and I said to myself, look, you knew this is the nature of the Islamic Republic. You know that every day people get beaten up in the street. At least you're safe here, and you have to keep going.
You have said that the Iranian government is scared of you. What are they so scared of?
First of all, I'm a woman, and the Islamic Republic is scared of a woman. I mean, if you go to my beautiful country, you will be beaten up because you're unveiled. So I went to Washington, D.C., and then they kicked me out. I was trying to make an official complaint about death threats, and they said, no, first cover yourself. I said, you must be kidding me, because I launched a campaign against compulsory hijab, and that is why actually I'm receiving death threats. So they called the Secret Service to arrest me. So for years and years, the regime in Iran says that our biggest enemy is who? The Great Satan, United States of America. But they were trying to call the Secret Service of the Great Satan to save themselves from an unveiled Iranian woman. So that's why I strongly believe that, of course, it is scary that they were going to kidnap me, but that shows that they're scared of me and millions of other Iranian women, Iranian men who got united this time, loudly sending videos to me saying no to Islamic Republic. That's why they sent someone here in New York to kidnap me. They didn't want after President Biden. They didn't want after any, no Americans. So that's why I strongly believe they're scared of their own people, and I'm giving voice to the people.
And speaking of that voice, if their attempt was to silence you, it doesn't appear that that's working.
That's not working, and this is not the first time. Look, first, actually, on Iranian national television, that they said that I was raped. Can you believe that? They said that I was raped in front of my teenager son. It was a big lie. They think if I'm a woman and if they say Masih was raped, so they're going to discredit me. That didn't work. And then they actually made a new law saying that if anyone from Iran sending videos to Masih will be charged up to 10 years prison. I was like, my God, they're trying to make me feel guilty. That didn't stop women. I was bombarded by people inside Iran, by mothers who, son was killed, sending videos to me. I said to myself one day, they didn't give up. I'm not going to give up. Then they went after my family.
Right.
They brought my sister on TV to disown me publicly. Your
brother is imprisoned?
Yeah, they integrated my 70-year-old mother who wears hijab. She has nothing to do with my campaign, but they integrated her.
But are you concerned that you're continuing to speak out? Because you weren't named in that indictment, you decided to go public. Are you concerned that that might have some kind of impact on your relatives and family members?
That was not easy. That was not an easy decision at all. Because, sometimes I cannot even breathe when I think about my brother and my family. And I love them. I'm a village girl. We always, during the weekend, we get united. We go, to our village all together. And now I miss hugging them. And my dream is to be in my own country. But what helps me to be strong and not give up? The people inside Iran. When I see that the women who are sending videos to me walking unveiled, which is a punishable crime, these are like Rosa Parks of Iran. So when they don't give up, then I'm not going to give up, because otherwise I'm going to actually betraying my own people. And I want to send the message to Biden's administrations, to the European Parliament, to the Western countries, to the leaders of the free world, that this is the regime that you're going to deal with. This is the nature of the Islamic Republic, to kidnap, to arrest, to execute people. And I'm not the first one. Last year, they actually kidnapped another journalist called Ruhollah Zam. They actually tricked him from France to Iraq, and then they kidnapped him from Iraq. They executed him in Iran. There is a campaign called United for Naveed. They are trying, actually, the athletes in Iran to give voice to one of the well-known athletes who got executed in Iran for the crime of protesting. And now the government send death threats to every single athlete who live in Italy, live in Washington, D.C., live in California, live in Sweden. That's the nature of the Islamic Republic. And I want to actually ask all the leaders of the free world to understand that, do not abandon Iranian people.
You have said that you are not just fighting for yourself. You just said a moment ago that you're not going to stop fighting. What would be the best possible outcome here?
I want to meet with President Biden. Look, I'm an American citizen. What is shocking here, that they did that in New York. That actually shows you that my brutal government actually challenging the U.S. authorities. And actually, it says you that the time when my government were trying to kidnap me here in America, the U.S. government was trying to deal with this government. And today they call this law enforcement. That breaks my heart. Or when Behnam Mahjoubi was killed in Iranian prison, the U.S. administration called this bad behavior. It makes me cry, because this is not called law enforcement or bad behavior. I want to tell, actually, Biden administration, just by the President Biden, I want to tell him, imagine the government arrest your son, kidnap your son, kidnap your own family. What would you do? So I expect you to do the same. Stand up for human rights values, because the regime actually trying to manipulate the rest of the world. And it breaks my heart when I see that people of Iran are being abandoned.
Understandably so. Masih Alinejad, we thank you so much for your time.
It's not easy for me, because I don't know what I say here, what they're going to do to my family inside Iran, but I had to say that. Thank you so much for...
We appreciate your time and your passion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.